Hi guys, it's Mike here. Today I'm back with a watercoloring video, I would say, but there's no water in it at all. So this is the card I make, and I'm using the Dove blender pen. But first I wanted to show you how I organize and keep my papers. They usually come in big sheets, so I cut them up in card size and then I put them in these card holder plastic baggies, and I have a label on it, and I can take them with me if I want, and they're protected from moisture and water and, well, smudges, whatnot, if I put them all back. And I have different ones for Bristol, for hot press, cold press, rough watercolor paper, for my crafter's companion paper, which should be in the front because I use that the most. And I thought I might help you as well to get more organized. Today I'm using the CC Design Kitty with Chickies. That was a price, was on the title. And yeah, I found this little die cut bit, but it's too small, so I'm using a square. These are offcuts that when I cut card size I get little squares left over, and I use them for small images. So yeah. It's still the same paper. So I'm using my Your Memory Keeper's precision tool because it's rubber mounted, and some intense black ink as usual. And I'm pressing really hard. I have a bit of a hard time with this tool sometimes. There's no strength in my hands because of the reuma and arthritis I have, so I did put my weight to it. I'm sure you don't have to do that normally. So I'm using Aquablend, and I'm using only two tints, the primaries, because I thought they had nice yellows and oranges and greens and blues, and the essentials for the grays. The colors are also listed on my blog if you want to see them, and of course the Dove blender pen, which is refillable, and it has extra nibs if you want them, because the nibs get tainted, but if you make sure they're clean they won't transport the color. See? And here it is on a little bit of a gray, and with water as well to see the difference. I thought the blender pen would help me out if I'm on the go and I don't need to take a pot of water with me, or a brush pen that might get empty halfway through. And yeah, I like it. I never used it before, and I got it especially for watercoloring on the go, I would say. I'm trying the tip to tip, that doesn't seem to work. And also I found that once you've used the blender pen, going on top with another color is near impossible. So you're best coloring where the shadows are, as you know I would always do, but then also layer the darker color for an extra intense shadow, which is what I'm gonna do now. And I'm looking at the chickies. I'm not coloring the same shadows, I think, but it's always handy to have a reference. I always put the shadows on the right side, so that's what I'm doing here. And then yes, fingers crossed it works, because I thought maybe it would muddle all the colors, but actually you can still see the orange a little bit, and I was very impressed with that. And I'm just going to do them all. I would suggest to work from light to dark, so in case there is a little bit of yellow or blue or whatever color you're using left on the nib, then you won't see it too much. See, I'm quite liking it. I'm scrolling off on that test paper that I used earlier, and then here I'm trying to add a bit more orange. And I'm not sure what the blender pen is made of. I'm guessing glycerin, but I don't know. It doesn't say. So I forgot to pull a coral for the ears. There's only one that needs to be colored. And the little nose. See, I'm scribbling off between colors, and I like it's refillable. And yeah, the nibs is quite hard. It's not a brush nib, although it looks like it maybe. So I'm not sure how it will perform on, say, not aquarelle papers or watercolor paper. I mean, sorry, I went Dutch there. It might peel up the paper because it's such a hard nib, but I don't know yet. I haven't tried it. You know, people like to use Bristol for watercoloring, but it's not watercolor paper. So you can see here that it makes a really soft look, and it still leaves the darker green alone, I would say, kind of. It doesn't leave it alone. It doesn't mix it with the yellow one to make another color. And I like that. See, that's the point. And it gets tainted, as I said, but it's okay. If the pen runs clear, then you're alright. And then I wanted a little halo around the image. So I'm using the royal blue here. Just a thin line. And see, it's almost dry now, but still you can't layer on top of it. Maybe it needs to dry longer. I will try that off camera and show you in another video. And then I'm pulling out the blue to make that halo kind of look. And I'm quite impressed how much it pulls out the color, because you can go for miles, it feels. Bigger halo than I intended. And yeah, here I went over the yellow and I'm wiping it off with a damp cloth. My hair chamois there, and that worked okay, except that I did it again later on. Yes. And I like the fact that the blender pen isn't as wet as a water brush, of course, so I think you can go next to the green that I just did without any problems. I don't know what you mean. Yeah. See? Maybe I will cut it. I wasn't sure yet. But I like the square on yeah, on the rectangular card base. So I'm thinking I will pull in the color from the darkest bits, and then it will leave me a highlight in the front of his or her face. Not sure if it's a manly cat or not. I don't think my cat would be so relaxed. The girl maybe, but the boy I think will eat the chickies. But yeah, that's not the exercise today. So I'm putting in the darker color as well, the anthracite, and I use anthracite, and gravel. And then I'm putting it in, as I say, to the lighter bits. Just to leave a highlight. You're kind of working in reverse order from markers, because you go from dark to light. So, and then like the image had a white fluffy tail, so I kind of mimic that as well. And I thought I need more tabby stripes. And yeah, again, layering is, I don't think it makes any difference. And there's where I scribbled off the pen, you can see it doesn't take the pencil. You can definitely see where the blender pen was and where I scribbled on top. So what I tried in the end was to do a wet technique with pencil to brush, and that seemed to work actually. It was a bit too much water. So yeah, that's my first time I'm using this blender pen. It's been around for a few years, but no, I never got around to buying it. and you can go over the, well, I would say bold patches as well. And here you can see the difference. That's water, and you get that, well, hard edge, and with the blenderpen you get a nice soft faded edge. So that's also why I like it. For the sentiment, I'm using Clearly Besotted Best Friends, and I'm using Better Together with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. My screen is frozen. I'm not sure if that's gonna translate when I upload it, but yes, I'm sorry. The well, in case it doesn't come back in, I also mounted it with foam tape on the card base, and I was contemplating whether to make it a little bit thinner, but then it wouldn't be square anymore, so I left it, and it only has a really small border. So there. This is where the image started moving again. I don't know why it does that, and I'm not sure how to fix it, so I'm just ignoring it for now. Sorry. So just a bit of foam tape on the card base, and here's the card finished. I hope you like it. I'm very impressed with the Dove Blender pen. I can recommend it. So if you want to give it a try, it's not that expensive. It was €4.25 to buy. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.